of insecurity across Nigeria is enough to dampen the spirit and lead to loss of confidence in the security agencies. But the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Taoreed Lagbaja, has begged Nigerians to be steadfast in their faith with the Army. Speaking in Sokoto, General Lagbaja reassured citizens that all hands are on deck to win the fight against insecurity across the country. Sikian, let me start with you. The Army Chief is saying, please trust us.
Yes, we have no choice. There's only one Nigerian Army, and we have to trust them, and we have to support them. That is what is done across the globe. The U.S., the citizens of the U.S. support their military. That of the United Kingdom support their military, and some other countries, because there's only one military, and it's not military of Southeast, military of Southwest, military or army of North Central. It is called the Nigerian Army, made up of Nigerians from all parts of this country. And the best we can do is be able to support them. Okay, let me just give you a classical example. You and I here now, in the QZ air-conditioned room, having this program. When we finish, we enter our air-conditioned car. We'll probably go out, today is Easter, Sunday, and we'll go somewhere to go and chill and take a bottle or those that take a bottle or whatever and enjoy ourselves and go back home and we sleep. But do you know that there are so many young men and women who don't have that privilege? Some of them, most of them are in Sambisa Forest now. Some of them are in other areas. The only one thing they are doing to secure you and I so that we can be able to sleep. And what are we talking about? And most often than not, it is not because of the pay. So we say, oh, some of them join police, they join army because they don't have. It's a lie. Some of them volunteer. Let me give myself a classical example. In 1984, when I finished my secondary school, one of the things that I wanted to do is to join the Nigerian Army. My dad picked up the NDA form for me. I tried. My head did not enter. I no pass. So I decided to go to university. Probably by now, if I entered, I would have retired now, or I would have been a major general or whatever, and the rest of them. But that was the passion in me, because I wanted to serve my country. So the same thing over here. Yes, we know that there are some bad eggs within the military, and that's a fact. Even in journalism, we have fake journalists. We have fake doctors. We have fake teachers. We also have those that misbehave. The same thing all over. Where you have over 100,000, 200,000, you also know that, yes, some people misbehave, but that does not necessarily mean that that few number that misbehave can be used to be able. So look at what happened in Okwama recently, where 17 young officers were killed. A lieutenant colonel, 2 majors, a captain, and 13 other officers. They were not only killed, but their body was given. You know when we talk it, I can see your face now, the way I can see the way you're doing it. And that is a fact. These are fathers, brothers. They are members, they have family. In fact, the Chief of Army Staff, General Lagbaja, in the course of his speech, he said that I think about 4 of the women, their wives, is pregnant. 4 of them are pregnant. You know, we have turned them to orphans. So, Nigerians should support the military, not only the army now, the Air Force, the Navy, the DSS, the NIA, all security agencies should be. The only problem I always have is that we always have this trust deficit between the citizens and our military people, including the police. You say something. You decide to say something, you are held. They are hold. For that, people just hold on to certain information because they don't know how that information will be used. But if we can be able to build the confidence of it, because the greatest arm that the military, including the army or the police, can have is intel.
That's true.
You can have all the kinetic weapons at your disposal, have the whole bomb and the rest of it. If you don't have the necessary intel, and you don't have people giving you that information, the only people that give you that information, apart from the one you gather, are the people on ground, people in the community. They will tell you, oh, we saw one movement, and we said this here several times. Go to UK, you go to a place that you don't know, and you're walking anyhow. You'll be surprised that one 90-year-old woman is sitting by her window, is just watching. Before you know it, you just see police will just come. Excuse me, can we know you? It wasn't the police that saw you. It was that 90-year-old woman that saw you. I decided to call the police. There's a strange face I'm seeing here. I don't know who the person is. And they come around. Now, That is what we ought to be doing. We ought to be assisting security agencies, but also the security agencies must also make sure that they win back the minds of Nigerians so that they can be able to volunteer that. But in all, there's no military that we don't have any other military than what we have. And we must, as a matter of force, if we must fight terrorism, banditry, or whatever, to give the military all the necessary support to be able to succeed.
All right, BK, what's your first reaction to the statement by General Lagbaja?
The first thing that came to my mind was the fact that the Chief of Army Staff realizes and admits that Nigerians are becoming patient with them because our people ought to be protected better. Bandits are running rampant in northern Nigeria, especially the northwest. And we invest a lot of money on security in this country. So the army, the armed forces generally, and the police that should lead the charge in defending our country internally, they ought to realize at this stage that their best has not been good enough. If he was reassured that they've been doing a fantastic job, he won't be pleading with Nigerians for patience and all that. But you can see how many lives we've lost in the very recent past. That Sokoto that he went to, there are some local governments like Sabombrini, Tureta, where people get kidnapped just anyhow. Look at those Quranic pupils of the Quranic school that were kidnapped the other day. It was in Sokoto. There's a local government called Isa. Isa is close to the border with Niger Republic. That's the local government of their former governor, Tahiru Bafarawa. Bandits operate with reckless abandon in those places. If we are investing so much money on security, we need results. And no one in the military can look into the camera and say, look, we've given our best, we've done our best. It's either your best has not been good enough, or you need to look at the strategy that you are employing. You may be struggling, and it may be because the methods that you are using are not working. So in that case, you have to retweak. You have to tweak your methods, your strategy, your tactics. Perhaps when you do that, we will start seeing a change. We'll start seeing results. Right now, many Nigerians are disappointed, and they demand that they should be better protected. Last week I was talking about the need for leaders in the north to come together and see this problem as their problem. They need to come together and look for ways in which the people can be better protected. A situation in which bandits will go into a mosque, open fire on people, is terrible, especially in a holy season like this. What is happening? Across the northwest, apart from Jigawa and Kano, there's no part of the northwest that you can say is safe. Kebbi, most parts of Kebbi is safe, but Kebbi South, that shares a border with Rijau local government in Niger State, is not safe. That's where they kidnapped those FGC students. And they spent over a year in captivity. Kaduna, for a long time, for some time we felt, okay, there's improvement. With all of the military bases there. Look at the stories we are hearing about Kaduna. So, I like the fact that Taoreed Lagbaja knows that at this time, the best of the army has not been good enough. And is asking the Nigerians not give up on the army. He wants Nigerians to continue to invest their faith and their confidence in the army. Because when the people lose faith in the army and they lose faith in the police, honestly, it's neither good for the armed forces nor good for the people. Well, our people are going through a lot. And as I used to say to President Buhari, I will say the same thing to President Tinubu. No matter what changes you make in other spheres of our lives, if our people don't feel safe, if insecurity continues to be such a border to our people, they will not remember the contributions that you've made to the growth and development of our nation. It's just a natural thing. They will keep talking about the insecurity. They won't remember some of the steps that you have taken to make their lives better. We need to protect our people better. We want an improvement in agri production. It can't happen when people can't go to the farms. And the big agri production belts of our country are there in the north. Yeah, these are places where these good for nothing bandits are stopping people from accessing their farms. In some places they tell you, okay, come and pay. If you pay, you can access your farms. There are communities where bandits and our people live together because people have no choice. They live together. There are some of those communities in Niger State, they live together. There are communities even in Borno State where our people and Boko Haram, they live together. Kukawa local government, they live together with Boko Haram. People will tell you Boko Haram does not control anywhere. It's a lie from the pit of hell. I can sit here and mention places where they are. Yes. I don't just go to those places for nothing. I go to get the right information. Stand before me, I will mention places where they are, where they live with our people. Our people have grown used to them. They pay, what's it called to them? They pay taxes, or what the Yoruba man will call it, sakole. They pay sakole to them, and they leave them alone. Everyone lives in peace. Kukawa local government is one of those places where Boko Haram lives with our people. The people who have accepted it as their fate. I say it again. I'm looking into the camera and saying it because I know it's the truth. No one can tell me, Jide, you are lying.
Yes. Yes.
So when we say, I mean, Biko just said the military needs to re-strategize. Is this a matter of funding? Is funding the problem? If not, is it better research, better innovation? I mean, what exactly is the missing?
I think we should be very careful with the narrative. Let us get one thing clear. I think we're expecting too much for the military.
Really?
Yes. Let me give you the reason why. The Constitution, 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, as amended, has a role for the military, for the army. Army, Air Force, Navy. Their role has nothing to do with internal security. The role of internal security lies with the Nigerian police. I think we should get that clear. It is not the duty of the army. The army was established to fight against external aggression in Nigeria. If Nigeria Republic want to fight Nigeria, it is not we are not going to send the police. It is the army we are going to send. If Benin Republic decide today to annex Badagry, which is close to Cotonou, it's not the Nigerian police. It's not the military police you are going to send. You are going to send the Nigerian Army. You are going to send the Nigerian Air Force, and possibly also the Nigerian Navy. Those are their established role. What we are doing now is what I call borrow. Yes, you cannot. The internal security cannot be the way it is, and we don't be able to put the army in the midst. That is exactly. That is what I'm saying. So that because what we are doing is that we are elevating the military and diminishing the role of the police. The people, what we'll be talking about is how do we make the police more purposeful, be able to arm the police enough. What we are doing all this is because the days of coup is no longer tenable. If you remember what happened in the 70s and 80s, you don't bring the military, you don't bring them out like this. Every checkpoint you see an army man. It's only during military regime that you see that. You don't see military people manning roadblocks. You cannot go to the US and see military manning roadblock. It's police. If you see any trial paper, it's the Nigerian, is the US police. You will not see they bring it in the military where it's special cases. But I'm not saying the fact that we cannot use the military to be able to do most of these jobs, because what we are fighting now is not conventional war. Boko Haram is not conventional war. I won't say we shouldn't even be using the word bandits again, because the president even have said that we shouldn't be referring to these people as bandits. So I think we journalists, we should stop using that word bandit.
Yeah, we continue to call them bandits. You see, the definition of what they do is banditry.
Okay.
I can read out the meaning of terrorism here. You will see clearly that what those guys are doing has nothing to do.
Picking of children is not banditry.
No, banditry.
But picking of children, going to yes, that is terrorism.
What? No, it's not terrorism.
Okay.
They want money. They are doing it. Banditry, the definition of banditry, original definition of banditry, people, passengers, commuting from community to community, they can be hijacked, taken away for their money. It's purely banditry. It's purely banditry. Terrorism has some political and religious connotation to it. These boys are doing it purely for the money. Let's not, what we can do, hold on, because I don't deceive myself. What we can do for the purpose of visiting proportionate anger on them is to say, okay, we classify them as terrorists. We can now use the law to deal more decisively with them, because the law, when it comes to terrorism, is more severe than banditry. I can agree on that. But in terms of their modus operandi, what they do, it is not terrorism. It's not terrorism. See, and then if you say, okay, we should not, the army, this is not the role of the army. For so long, the police have failed when given the task of protecting our people. In 1980, the Maitasini riots, many people were killed. They drafted mobile police. Those boys slaughtered them before we now brought in the army. The man who led the GOC, who led the operation at that time, is the man that he was in charge of one div. He's dead now. One general, I'm trying to remember, from Southern Kaduna. And then the commander who led the operation was General Babangida's spy chief, Haliru Akilu, was the one who led that operation and defeated Boko Haram in 1980. After they had slaughtered soldiers, slaughtered policemen. Yeah. If we go back to history, when the police become powerless to defeat a threat within the borders of our country, you call in the army. Even in America, sometimes soldiers are even used to build bridges. Their job is not simply carry gun, territorial integrity. How about what happened the other day when Trump and his people tried to hijack the Capitol? Did they not bring in the military? So in Somalia now, can the police confront Al-Shabaab? Do they have the capacity? There is a level of threat that you see, and you tell yourself that, oh, your police, the way they are now, can they confront these people? I know that over the years we didn't fund the police sufficiently. I know that IBB, for example, the military, when they came in 1983, they took away some of the equipment of the police, cannibalized some of their equipment. But as we speak, even our people don't respect the police. We saw a video of one guy breaking a bottle on the head of a policeman in public. You remember that video now?
Yes, I do.
And I challenged the police. I said, bring out the person who did this. Even here. we over the years, maybe due to corruption and some other limitations, Nigerians have come to respect and fear the army more, especially in dealing with very serious security threats within our borders. The army is involved in at least 34 states. It's not an ideal situation.
Well, now that we're saying the military is overstretched, what do we do about that?
The military is overstretched, but there is also a need to recruit more people into the army. For some time, they didn't really do recruitment. One major recruitment that happened that I remember was during Ejirika's time. The police, the same thing. For a long time, police too are not recruiting. So, we look at the situation, the prevailing situation, and ask yourself, what do we do? Do you think that the Nigerian police, a situation in Boko Haram is snatching armor personnel carriers of the army? Boko Haram is snatching some of the most important weapons of the military. Boko Haram overruns some military bases. In fact, they overran 2 military bases in one town, Dikwa. So, do you think that is the sort of threat that the Nigerian police can confront? Even along our borders, when those boys are coming, despite the fact that customs, immigration, they are armed. These boys sometimes will kidnap customs men, kidnap immigration men and take them away. So you have to look at the threats. So I don't blame the Nigerian leaders who try to bring in the army to help, you know.
All right.
Even some of the police, there are some things that I don't want to say here. Maybe when we leave, I will tell him some things. Some of those even policemen sometimes that they were drafted to the northeast, that okay, they've captured this place, so we want a return to civil authority. Those boys will decline to go and serve. They think that you want to kill them, that's why you're posting them there. So it's the nature of the threat that determines who we use.
All right, gentlemen, let's move on to our next story, which is also still about security.